which is also broadcasting this race with French commentators. And we're starting. And we also need to remind that this tournament is sponsored by Twitch.
Yes, of course, and I'd like to direct everyone's attention right now to Jem's screen, because he's going to open the map in about 1 second. There we go, and we see a pendant down in Desert.
Yeah. It's a bit annoying when you see a pendant in a dungeon like Desert, because it's such a quick full clear that you wish it was a crystal, because you're going to full clear it most of the time.
Indeed, and we see this really nice early bomb pull from the trees, and this is going to be absolutely fantastic for both our players. And 2 bottles already for Pikapals.
Wow. The sick kid will be having an early visit.
Jem tends to save and quit back to Link's house after he goes into the forest, but he may just decide to go straight to Kakariko since he has bombs already.
Yeah, that would be a good option, I think. I think Pikapals is now doing the same thing that Jem just did.
Yeah, this has also basically developed to be his standard route as well. More bombs
And more bombs.
Their natural habitat in the forest.
The first shield for Jen, yeah.
You know, I am still a little bit surprised that Pikapals decides to go up here and check Lumberjack, because usually if you have the bombs for Kakariko, you tend to just go straight there instead of taking the time to go up here and check what Lumberjack has.
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes people will wait until they have boosts to check that spot at the same time that they do the bunker hearts by the sanctuary, but there are many different ways to load that, and it seems Pikapals want to increase his kill count to get more pull trees.
Indeed, and we'll also be picking up these bombs here in the forest. Jem first into Kakariko, but unless he finds what will be the seed's 3rd bottle, he's not going to be able to make that Sickid check. Now, if you do see the lamp and the moon pearl this early on, your mind will likely start to think about that potential Aga 1 at some point, but for now they will still be waiting because they still have some more items to check.
And that's still nice. Finding the moon pearl this early means that you won't have to wait that much for Dark World access, or like hunt on the pearl in the Light World.
Yeah, they don't have to chase down that pearl while having all the other necessary items.
Yeah.
The lamp does unlock some items in the back of Escape, though, in addition to one location over in Eastern.
Yep. And that's very convenient because you won't always want to do that check in Escape without the lamp or a sword to check your surroundings or anything.
Normally you tend to get pretty early gloves, so you can check the 3 chests in the back of Escape and then maybe attempt to go through the dark rooms to check the chest that's in the dark, but it's not really going to be necessary, and that's a really convenient flute.
Just activating it right away. That's the most convenient flute you can have.
And the flute has some drastic impact on how you route, because you can so conveniently get anywhere across the Light World. Ice Arcade, quick check, Aegena's Cave, quick check, Death Mountain, yeah, I mean, anywhere, you get there within 5 seconds.
Yeah, everything gets much more quicker with that.
Also, I did see this Bombos medallion here in the well and have to keep that in mind. Also, finding that mirror, so that's a Tower of Hera access this early on with the lamp, but there is no weapon to kill Moldorm with. So chances are that will be delayed for now. There's still a lot of other locations to check before making the call up to Tower of Hera.
Yeah. Now Pikapals is also activating his flute. While Gem is going to check the library and probably do the race game before floating away.
You know, there's a lot of bombs in this early game. Gem is deciding just to go through straight here with the race game, hoping to find something on the other side. But of course, the important thing here is that Sick check in about 5 seconds here for Pikapals.
If only they had Dark World access this early, they could have used the mirror to halt a Dark Kakariko.
Well, Gem finds more bombs. Seems to be the theme of the seed, and Sick Kid will deliver. Oh
Wow.
my goodness!
That's good for Pikapals.
That's exceptional, and did mention that Tower of Hera possibly delayed. Gem's still going up there right now because he digs deep into these spheres. He finds an item, he pursues the item, and right now the item is the flute. But Pikapals, he can check so much stuff up there.
I would expect Pikapals to get in Death Mountain heli soon as well. Just because of that hookshot.
Yeah, definitely, but this opens up a pretty weird situation. Have you ever seen anyone do the Death Mountain Moldorm Cave with bombs? I guess there's the hook shot, but you still need to use a bomb to throw over to the other side to activate the chest. Or the switch, I mean.
Yeah, but with the hookshot, these fiends are easy to kill.
Pikapals is opting to start off with the dam, just standard, basic, regular route. Once you're done with Kakariko, you head to the dam.
Yeah, and with the flute, it's just right there, so that's even faster. Nothing of much value inside Sahasrala's cave.
Not for now.
Pikapals is heading in the minimal down cave, so that might be more interesting.
Yeah, definitely with the 5 items there. And normally Gem tends to delay the Sahasrara check if Eastern is a crystal and he doesn't have the bow, but here you have the flute, so it's so easy to get there and then just leave and go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's basically what's really great about having the flute. And Pikapals get the first sword of the seed.
So this will allow him to actually check the stun price if he so desires, and if there's something convenient like 20 rupees, you could do some sort of long-term planning for Sora at some point, but for now, that's a weapon to kill Moldorm with.
Yep, and I believe he's going to go straight to Moldorm with his current equipment.
And meanwhile, these Moldorms are not behaving for Gem.
No, and he doesn't have the hookshot, so he must kill them with the bombs, which is not an ideal weapon.
This is quite unfortunate because of this flute. On one hand, when he gets the bottle, it's easy for him to go and check the kid, but because he got the flute, he hasn't actually saved and quit Link's house and checked the Chester to get the bottle in the first place. And Pikapals takes a death before being able to get the uncle rescued.
Yeah, but that's good.
Extremely unfortunate.
It just starts in the cave.
Yeah, but you still want to get the uncle or the old man delivered before that occurs.
Yeah.
And obviously, any death is a time loss. So did Gem just go up Death Mountain and just rescue the old man and didn't check Spectacle Rock?
That's right. He did not even check it. He just floated away to chase Sahasrara.
And that's a really interesting call to make.
So it doesn't seem that way, yeah?
We'll get the bottle here.
Yes, and there wasn't anything interesting on or inside Spectacle Hawk. It seems Gem will get his second bottle very soon.
Yeah, Pikapal's first 2 items in the seed were 2 bottles. Jem will get them now, and you imagine he's gonna get that hook shot pretty soon.
And I don't know which tire was that Ripple, but he just got 20 rupees.
And that is nice.
Yeah. And the stun prize is 5 rupees.
And look at that hammer up there. You don't even need to bring the sword up to kill Moldorm with, because now you get that east access on Death Mountain via a different tool.
And the hammer is a much better weapon to kill Moldorm with.
Absolutely. And this is a really interesting situation because it's 1 item from Aga 1, but it's also 1 item from regular Dark World access. The gem, having the sword, having the lamp, can check everything here in Escape at this point, and because you have the flute and it's so easy to go anywhere, if you have to walk somewhere, you better check everything you can at that spot when you're there, and you have everything for Escape right now and you can't flute to Hyrule Castle.
Yes, and having the Mayhop maybe means he will go and check the chest that's in the dark.
Well,
and maybe even proceed to the back of Escape.
Yeah, and
that's no glove.
Yeah, indeed, and that Master Sword is the Aga 1 access. So let's think about this. If you do this Aga 1, you will have, via the hookshot hammer combination, access to the left side. But he doesn't have the hookshot.
Or the hammer.
Or the hammer. So at this point, Aga 1 is simple. It's easy for him to route in, and he has the mirror. But it still feels like it's not really a call to make it. Pikapals has to be very careful here. 1 heart jumping into Moldorm.
And that's it. Really unfortunate for him.
Me and my big mouth. On the other hand, that was an extremely impressive guard kill there for Gem. Well, Pikapals, unfortunately, with his second death, reclimbing the tower because he needs to get revenge on that Moldorm. It's 4 hearts green mail is not an healthy seed.
No. And Gem is going to the dark chest in the sewers. If he gets a small key there, he can go on to the back of Escape. If he doesn't get a small key, then that's where the hold ends.
And at that point, it's back out. You have to think that the bottle is a high priority still, and you do need the gloves for the back.
Well, now we know that the first glove cannot be in the back of Escape, since the key is over there.
Indeed, that is correct, but the second one can still be behind.
Yeah.
But Pikapal's gonna take down Moldorm, get the key to the basement. I did not count the items, but I presume we will know soon enough as Gem gets the hookshot and likely heading up Death Mountain. And do you enjoy waiting a minute for something to happen?
Not really. But I'm watching Gem and he's making my heart race right now. On half a heart.
Yeah, those were some really close dodges on those falling cabbage rocks. And even then...
Pikapals will be in this room for about a minute, waiting for the tiles to come at him.
Indeed, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Jem skipping out on this room. He doesn't seem to like Tower of Hera in the first place.
Well, it's a crystal, so he'll definitely be over here in some time.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it's time to find out if Pika's wait was worth it, as Gem is gonna open these 5 chests here.
That was worth.
Yeah, that was pretty worth. Not only is that the back of Escape, but that's the Dark World access we've been waiting for. And that means Aga 1 is dead.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's a chest that some hasters, I don't know specifically about Gem or Pikapals, but that's a chest that some hasters would skip.
Yeah, because it's
Especially
such a
with
long
having-
wait.
Especially with having the east side of that mountain still open. But that was very good.
Meanwhile, Super Slow Spiral Cave for both our players. Just retracing what the other players already done up on Death Mountain at this point. And Yem just keeps on playing with our hearts. So if we just think about this for a second, if Pikapals decides to go into the Dark World, 4 Hearts Green Mail Dark World doesn't seem like something you want to do willingly.
Oh no, that's not something I want to do. But it's a nice challenge. And if you think your opponent is going to have the same issue having 4 Hearts Dark World, then you might be wanting to put your execution at test and survive.
Yeah, that seems to be the way to go. That's some really good Moldorm setups. They're getting all 3 in one spin. And we'll pick up some nice hearts in this cave.
Yeah. At this point, I would feel comfortable enough to do Thieves Town.
And Pikapals likes to start off over in the Village of Outcast area. Even tends to check Skullwoods first, regardless if it's a crystal or a pendant, and regardless whether or not he has the fire rod or not. And that Deadrock, just no.
Just blocked entry.
But first, back of Escape. So we do know that the small key is back here, but we don't know about the other 2 stuffs. Oh. Well, that's some Sora money, and that's about it.
Yeah. And Pikapals would check the remaining chest in the dark.
You got the key, so you can walk this way. Has the lamp, so this is fully in logic. Just walking, retracing steps at this point, waiting for something new to happen. Pikapal's gonna take the save and quit, and anxiously waiting where he's going to spawn. And we'll take the house and the flute. So fluting to Kakariko, going into the Dark World.
Maybe going to Ice Heart Cave. I don't know yet, but it's Kakariko.
Yeah, it seems like this is the way he wants to route the Dark World, because there's no other reason to go for this. And Pikapals really likes to set up this really long world tour in the Dark World, going all the way over from Village of Outcast to High Cave to Pyramid to Catfish, just check everything along the way. He even has the mirror to be able to go into Sora after that, and we'd like to have the rupees. And as I was talking, a giant thing just died over on Gem's screen.
And they are now having equal number of crystals, 1-1. But nothing is decided yet. We're still very early in the seed. And Pikapals starts checking Skullwoods right now. Starts by falling in the hole. So we'll see the first 2 chests. We hope at least one has a small key.
Yes, and we do see Jem going back into the basement. This is, as we know, the right call to make to get those gloves for the
Oh,
Dark
yeah.
World access. And Quake in Skull Woods? I mean, it's good to get those medallions out of the way so you don't have to chase them down later.
That's good, that's good. And I'm highly relieved that Gem decided to go in basement era, because that could have almost be a loss. Not getting the gloves there. Because if you don't do it right away, that's something that you will save for last.
Yeah.
Absolutely last. Location you would check.
Jem's gonna get the gloves. Pikapals has to set up a bomb jump here since he did get the V key. And he hasn't checked the Dark World, and this seems to be a common occurrence for him. Sometimes he has waited as long as 40-45 minutes into a seed before checking the pendant crystal layout in the Dark World. Contrary to Jem, who just checks it immediately upon getting his access, and he starts with high K, which is how he prefers to get into the Dark World, and then routing that way up to Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, Hype Cave is interesting because it's 5 items that you can get. So just getting the items over there often changes the way you help Dark World.
You know,
And we
I
have
think,
it, yeah.
yeah, you know, Jem has talked a lot about how much he hates Pendant Thieves Town, so guess what? It's a Pendant Thieves Town again.
Yeah, and Pendant Skull Woods.
Skull Woods is the green pendant, and this time Thieves Town isn't. It's a regular pendant, but I don't know how many times this Pendant Thieves Town has come back to haunt Jem.
Plus we have the 5 Sis Crystals, our Startle Rock, and Misery Mire.
Well, that was a bottle cave.
The
Ooh.
Myths. Ooh.
Well, really convenient myths to find. You can set up a much greater chest tour now by following through after Village of Outcasts. And for Jem, since this is within the first 4 chests in Thieves Town, he always goes in and checks those first 4, so he's gonna be able to get that.
Yep. Let's see now if Pikapals decides to do more checks in Thieves Town after the 2 remaining chests in the front here.
You know, in a lot of ways, this reminds me of seeds from spring 2017. Super early hammer, myths, flute, moon pearl, just everything. Now we even have shovel. Like, there's
Yeah.
so much stuff. The flashbacks, we're just missing the other sword in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, I was not around at that time, but must have been bonkers to have bought a sword in 5 minutes.
It was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
And looks like Pikapals is going to complete Thieves Town, even if it's a pendant.
There was at least 2 items within the first 4, so 1 or 2 items still remain in the back. And we're just gonna do some digging here. Oh, come on already, please.
That's a lot of digging.
Not sure if worth.
No, absolutely not.
Well, just mirror your flute and flute to 3, and take a visit into Village of Outcast Thieves Town. Seems like a good idea. So at this point, it seems like the route is pretty straightforward for both our players. They just have so much to check in the overworld. But then when we look at actual crystal dungeons, they can't clear any of them.
No, they can't. So it's still going to be overworld heavy until they find some more useful items.
Yeah, and the Steve Stun is essentially overworld here for Pikapals as he's going through with it. And Gem not paying a visit into Skullwood, sees his pendant, sees he doesn't have Fire Rod, doesn't want to pay a visit there. Quake was inside of there, but we don't know if that's needed yet. But we do need at least one medallion in this seed. He's picking up a heart. And I still do think that Gem is just gonna check the first 4 locations in Thieves Town here.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. He seems to be going away, but coming back.
I bet 5 arrows he's just gonna do the first 4 chests.
Well, let's see.
What we do-
Meanwhile, Pikapals is doing a blind fight. Very scripted fight. That's very easy once you know how to do it. And Pikapals did a great job with the first 2 phases. Got hit on the final one, but he got it anyway.
And with that, his first pendant, we don't know if that's needed or not. We have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think at this point Pikapals must be hoping for pedestal, having a required item.
And he did.
Because there was nothing in the back of Skullwood, not Skullwood, Stevestone.
Yes, and Lucy Gem leaving here after finding 2 items. And Pikapals did pull the pedestal in game 1, and pedestal was not required that seed.
Oh.
Pikapals just, you can do the digging and then just do the smith chest tour thingamajig all the way over here in the overworld. Gem looks like he's gonna do the exact same thing.
Only difference is that Gem already have done digging games, so he's just going to deliver the frog to his house.
Yep.
While we can enjoy Pikapals digging for forever.
Do you enjoy mass digging or mass hammering down pegs?
Oh man, it's hard to make a choice.
Well, sometimes we have to make the worst of choices. Pikapals is not... Yeah, he's going back. Okay, yeah, I think he just realized that, oh yeah, I have the myths. I can do so much stuff here.
Yeah, with the mirror too, so it's easy to out.
It's not often the seed gives you this many tools this early on for the overworld.
Yeah, but it looks like it really wants them to complete the overworld before touching any more dungeons.
And Yem will just be able to mirror and flute and deliver the chest.
And we have a high five there as they enter and exit the blacksmith's house.
Very busy smiths today. Where will Jem go after this? Because he can't as effectively follow up into Pyramid Catfish, but he may still decide that that's where he needs to go. Look at all those rupees, though. Looks like he is heading back into the Dark World. Or checking the shovel location first, and then heading into the Dark World. Or fluting away.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Still do have the Graveyard Ledge up in the north, but it's kind of isolated at this point.
We got a blue mail for Gem, so that effectively doubles his health, which is always nice to have.
Absolutely, and we will find out which medallion we will need here from Meyer, one of the 5-6 crystals together with Turtle Rock in this seed. And, well, Bumbles, they do have Bumbles.
Yeah, they have it since the beginning.
And game number 1 did have, I believe, the Cane of Samaria in Mystery Meyer.
Oh, that's evil.
Yeah, it's almost as bad as Hookshot in Swamp. Or Hammer in Swamp. We'll be enjoying Pikapals World Tour here with the chest, and Gem is...
He's stealing a key.
Yeah, he's stealing a key here in the back of desert, not very commonly seen.
But that's interesting because Desert is a pendant, so he doesn't want to go to the boss anyway.
And it's just Gem, his general dislike for pendant dungeons. I don't care about pendant dungeons. I just care about the items that may be in there if I'm forced to route it in.
Yeah. And I think that's a good attitude to have. It can certainly hurt you when the bosses have the items, but if you go about item density, that's alright.
It's not boots locked. So I'm just gonna ask a question I already know the answer for here. What do you think about fake flippering into Ice Palace?
That's a ballsy move.
That's not really the answer I was expecting, but I'll take it.
But I think that would be very interesting. If you don't expect the flippers to be your final item for Boyhashian, going this early in Ice Palace without even be logically able to enter it can give you a lot of information on sequence breaking.
And you kind of want the flippers to be your go mode item so you can go mode both swamp and ice.
Yeah.
You did also find out there that there is actually an item on Lenmolas in Desert Palace, but Gem may not return for that and just flew away here. Check Aegina's cave first. And while he's over here in the Desert Mire area, Pikapals is showing you the wonderful world of the Dark World. It's pretty dark.
It's more brown than dark. Can we call that the brown world?
Yeah, okay, I'll accept it. Powder.
Oh, powder. Yeah, that's good.
That unlocks an item location.
Yes.
Well, gotta continue the tour since you're here.
It's
anyway.
also a nice, it's also a nice safety to have.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's going to Catfish, has the mirror to check Sora after that, see what's on the ledge. Yem is making the trip to Dark Death Mountain, and with this we'll also find out which medallion is needed for Turtle Rock. Can't go in there because he doesn't have the cane.
But the information will be pretty useful if he gets his go mode outside of that mountain.
Indeed, he knows that he can make the trip into Mire if he wants to, but he decided not to do that, left one item in Desert, so right now it seems to be gathering information first and foremost. Pikapals has provided a gift for the catfish.
And the catfish answers with some piece of heart.
And Pikapals is hoping that the other very ugly thing that lives in the water is gonna have something. And that's Quake for Turtle Rock, so Skull Woods is needed here.
So you mean another pendant dungeon being required?
Yeah, the Skull Woods is needed for that Quake, but more importantly, Gem found the flippers here in Hookshot Cave.
And the silvers as well.
Wait, the Silvers are in Hookshot Cave again.
Yes. Was that the case yesterday?
I think they were there yesterday as well. Well, meanwhile, we have Sora here. Wow, that's just... What? That's even worse than usual. You tend to at least get a 20, but wow. Yep, no way. And also red mail.
The scammiest of scams.
Well, Pikapals now Dark Death Mountain for him, leaving the Howler check for now, which is essentially the only thing he got from that massive tour. So Flippers do put both Swamp Palace and Ice Palace in logic, with everything necessary to beat them. The problem is, it's Swamp and Ice Palace.
I still prefer Ice over Swamp.
You know, I think Yem's got... Yeah, but I think Yem's just gonna go Swamp and skip left side.
Yeah, that could also be the key. I think his play with Swamp is always to go mode it, basically, by skipping the left side until at least after he finishes Swamp. And by that I mean beating Argus.
Indeed. Pikapals here with Quake will be able to open up Turtle Rock, and there's actually his Dark World map check at 36 minutes. Gem is preferring Ice, actually. Or possibly is checking the Flipper locations first before making the trip into Ice.
It's interesting because he can check the Waterfall Cave that Pikapals could not check earlier.
Well, there's 300 rupees you can give to King Sora. And Gem still has Hobo to do over in the Flipper locations. And because of the way he routes, Flippers is the most recently acquired item, chances are pretty high he's just gonna pursue everything that the Flippers unlocks for him at this point.
Yeah, like Ice and Swamp.
Yeah, like Ice and Swamp, but still, it's Ice and Swamp. But I think he'd rather go there than go into a Crystal Dungeon he can't beat, or a Pendant Dungeon. I mean, he's already been in Desert, and he has essentially said, I'm not gonna go to Skullwoods, because he was already at Village of Outcasts.
Yeah. At this point, unless there is required progression in Turtle Rock, I almost expect Quake to be his go mode.
Yeah, that wouldn't be surprising.
And Pikapals has been doing a very thorough job of checking the Dark World. So he's now going in the Maya area, and let's see if... he's probably going to check Desert. But I can't wait to see if he does check Landmaras.
Well, if he did beat Blind, even though Blind didn't have an item, imagine he's gonna kill Lanmolas, which does have an item. On the other hand, Fighter Sword Hammer Lanmolas? Ugh. Yem opting for the Hobo, checking the island along the way, finding a big heart. And also, Pikapals didn't steal a small key here in Desert, so a little bit more incentivized then, if you want to go for Lanmolas.
Yeah, a little less time loss there. But I think it's pretty hard to see players steal a key.
Yeah, it's really uncommon. And yeah, looks like we're going into Swamp.
Oh yeah.
There is a total of 6 items inside of Swamp, but that also means you have to check almost certainly at least one over on the left side. Unless Swamp decides to be really nice to you. Pikapals will soon be able to mirror back to the left side entrance in Desert. We will then find out whether or not he's going for Lambolas or not.
Or maybe even dipping in Misery Mire.
Yeah, that's also a possibility. But again, then we have that question of, you have the flippers, you can do 2 crystal damage completely. Do you want to take the risk into Mire without the cane?
I would say until you find the big key, it's not so much of a risk. Because coming back is pretty fast. But if you continue checking after getting the big key, then that can become potential time loss.
You know, that's a great point I hadn't thought of.
And Pikapals is going to beat Lambolas for the item and the other pendant.
He's most likely hoping to find a fire rod soon, since the fire rod will unlock the pedestal. Gem has found 1 item in that first chest over in Swamp, so 5 remain. And Hammerlone Molas, as earlier stated, it's a pretty rough fight. Not the hardest,
Yeah, the
it's time
hitbox.
consuming.
The hitbox is too small for the fight to be really enjoyable. But I think they only need 4 hits per Sandworm to kill.
And that heart is not worth the investment, but still a pedestal. Soon enough, unless the fire rod is the go mode item. And there is at least 1 item over on left side in Swamp. Pikapal's going to check Checkerboard Cave, and then we'll wait and see what he's going to do after that. Aegena's Cave, likely next following that, unless he wants to make the trip into Mire. Back here of Swamp is the more lucrative area, 3 chests in close proximity, and well, that's
The King of Samaya.
yeah, that's a pretty good item to have before you go into Mr. Mire.
Certainly makes Misery Mire more enjoyable.
Yeah, the fact that you can beat it is
And the fire.
Wow, well,
Wow.
this he took a wild turn with the acquisition of both the cane and the fire rod. So Mire is clearable, the pedestal is in logic. We can make some progress into Turtle Rock now. And what are we looking for here? We're looking for the bow, the ice rod, and maybe boots under certain specific circumstances?
Yeah, on the 1 out of 23 chances that the Ganon Tower big key is on the torch. But that's just 1 in 23, so let's just not take it into account.
Yeah, the players just tend to skip that. And Gem here, Master Sword, August fight. Pretty slow, decides to not go for menu stretch with the hammer. And this Pikapals going into ice.
He's going to Waterfall Cave first, but he might just go back through the warp to get an ice.
Indeed, he may, and Jen will get the kill here on Argus using the Fire Rod very effectively and get a bomb capacity upgrade. So there is one item, 2 items left. Yeah, 2 items left, and he has the big key. I don't think he's going back in since he already got 2 pretty substantial items.
And he's not going back.
Nope. So, Meyer?
Yeah, it's a crystal. So I think it's a wise choice.
Stocking up on some potions first.
And that's good.
And another thing here with Pikapals making this call into ice, Gem is, regardless of what, gonna be able to do this dungeon faster since he will have the Fire Rod for it.
Yeah, bombos. Using bombos in ice feels like a slug most of the time.
But still, Ice Palace could have something of value in it. Big key is not that. So Misery Mire is one of the 5-6 crystals in the sea, the other one being Turtle Rock, has 2 items inside of it, and is fully completable by Gem. Using the Sword Beams very well in this first room to clear things off as fast as possible. It's a really tricky room to get done fast.
Yeah, usually the best MG strats to get this home down involve dashing around with the boots and using both your beams and the fire HUD. But without having boots, it's very hard to get the timing down. So that was a good job.
Indeed, and Pikapals, as he sits on exactly 1000 rupees, did get the bomb jump in Ice Palace on the first try.
And that's already the first item of Mizahimaya, the bug net.
Yeah, I think someone is very excited for it. I'm not that someone.
Pikapals also getting, I think, the first item out of Ice Palace, but even less exciting somehow.
Yeah, at least the bug net has a purpose to catch fairies if you need it, or if you really want to go all in on the memes, just go and catch some bees. Because you can. Both players sitting here very low on their heart counts. Gem is gonna take a little break here with the cutscene. Pikapals here, the more lucrative side of ice. Holds 3 items in close proximity. And Gem, well, that's the second item, so Meyer is not the destination, but it is a crystal.
Yeah. Nothing was required, but he's still missing the big key. So he's going to search for that a little bit. He was also not very satisfied with the items he's finding in ice.
No, not at all. This Meyer is tiresome.
Yeah. So, excepting from having bow in ice, I think Swamp Palace is going to be the next play for Pikapals.
Yeah, it seems like the most probable destination at this point. Jem is heading towards our lovely big eye-boss. But he needs... Huh? Small key? I'm a little bit confused here, or that might just be me, or is it something to do with the switches, or am I just very confused about how Meyer works suddenly?
I don't know.
Commentator's confusion.
Maybe he would have needed to open the big chest to get the small key or something like that. So.
Oh, that's a situation I've never seen before.
I'm totally up to date with Meyer key logic because we can almost always just don't care about it.
Yeah, because there's more keys than you need in Meyer.
Yeah, there are 6 keys in Meyer with 6 locked doors, but you really don't need any of the ones you will find in chests.
And Pikapals,
To get to the end.
Pikapals with Fighter Sword Coaster will hope to use the hammer here.
Doing a good job so far.
There's
Some good doubles and triples.
There's some really nice hits there in the early stages, but now they're spread out, so you have to be careful. Jem gets bunnied, but he gets the spooky action glitch. I believe that is the official term for it.
Yes, a spooky action. That's the name. So, I don't want really to explain it fully, but just say that the game is weird and something happens with the fire hard hitbox that you can set up before it happens. So that means that by hitting the torch with the fire hard like he did, the game thought the hitbox was over the switch. So it hit the switch.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty good basic explanation of it. Meanwhile, we're seeing Jem here keeping this eyeball away from him. Pikapals looks to be going into Swamp.
Last job getting rid of the giant eye. So that's a possible small key location on the boss.
Yeah, apparently that is something. That was a weird Meyer with the key logic. Anyway, Jem is done with Meyer. It's taking out the flute and going where? Ice.
Yeah, that seems logical. He didn't get anything from Misery Meyer, and the fire hard is only going to unlock him the back part of Skullwoods and Turtle Rock, which he both doesn't want to do now, and he doesn't have Quake anyway yet, which is in Skullwoods.
Indeed, so we know Swamp has the goodies, Ice does not, so Pikapals likely gonna head to the Meyer area after this. But where is Jem going to go? That's the big question.
Well, one option that Pikapals has over Jem is going to Turtle Rock early, and hope he can find the bow and or the ice hod over there. But Jem doesn't have that luxury, because he will need to go in Skullwoods first. So maybe we could see him go in Pod and Eastern.
Yeah, that is a possibility. We haven't seen any checks into those locations yet, so they've been available all this time. And there's a good amount of items there, and they have hammer, lamp, so everything except the bosses. You can check that. I mean, you have to do the bottle glitch on the right side of Palace of Darkness, but you know, people know how to do it.
Yeah, and they have 4 bottles, so I think they have more than enough.
And Jem even bought bottles when he flew to the witch earlier. Was that a long-term plan that he thought of, oh, I need a bottle for Palace of Darkness, or was it just an, oh, I need a bottle because I might die? Because I only have
I think it's more the latter. It's more, hey, I'm going in Maya, so let's buy potions before.
Oh, Pikapals gonna do Fighter Sword Vitreous if he goes Maya after this?
Oh, yeah.
That's a rough fight. Still haven't gotten that sword from Escape. Again doing ice faster since he does have that fire rod.
And doing Fighter Sword with Heus means quite a bit of time loss for Pikapals, if he does decide to do that. I don't know how much time you lose on Fighter Sword versus Master Sword, and no bow, but I think it's pretty considerate.
Yeah, I would think as much. Is there a consideration to use the hammer instead of Fighter Sword in that case?
Oh yeah, definitely switch to hammer, but it's dangerous. Even if you have blue mail and this many hearts, you definitely want some potions for that fight.
We don't know. I don't remember that is in regards to how his potions are looking right now. He can always flute over to the witch and buy some.
Yeah, just like what Jem has done earlier, but yeah. And we saw how aggressive Jem was against Vitreous. That's basically how Pikapals need to be aggressive with the hammer.
And also this Argus fight here with the Fighter Sword. He's getting these nice double spins off.
Yep, that's faster than switching your way to hammer, if I'm correct.
My brain says yes.
It certainly feels way nicer to do.
Yeah, because constantly opening the menu and switching to hammer just... doesn't feel right. But a good finish there on the second phase. But will Pikapals go and check left side? There's still 2 items left.
Going by how he was so thorough in his checks, I most want to predict he will do the left side.
And he's going back in.
Yeah.
Pikapals is very thorough in his routing, doesn't really care if it's a crystal or a pendant. He just checks everything when he's at the spot. It's a long way to walk for 2 items.
Especially when they don't have boots.
Well, if the big chest has something, he may leave after that.
Imagine it's the bow. Do you leave?
I mean, the bow would be pretty nice, but that's not a bow, so there's 2 items over on left side. Meanwhile, Jem, here on the cold stair fight, has the fire rod, still used bombos on the first phase, but now the fire rod shots comes out.
That was a very nice fight.
Indeed, and much quicker than Pikapals when he was there and already bringing out the mirror before even picking up the crystal. But then we ask ourselves this question. Jem, where are you going now?
Yeah, I cannot have an answer to this question, so let's see where he floats to. Is he going?
Skullwoods?
Yeah, Skullwoods and maybe North Hyrule.
Yeah, Graveyard Ledge is a location we still haven't seen what's there, and can check Bumper Cave.
Yep. What's nice is that he will get the Quake Medallion from Skullwoods. So
Yeah.
that will put Turtle Rock in his head.
I mean, he could also go back into Thieves Town. No, he's not gonna do that. He's gonna get the Quake here, and I imagine that Turtle Rock will be the next one. Oh, Pikapals does find half magic over here in Swamp. That's a very nice pickup, but not really any form of progression.
And a piece of heart, so no Hesian, no more Hesian in Swamp. But half magic is a nice item to have.
Absolutely, it's just I wouldn't say it's worth the time investment of going into a left side swamp, but can't really blame him for going back in. He's now making the call to Meyer as Yem has picked up the Quake.
So Jem is decided to at least go a little bit further in Skullwoods after finding the first item. We'll see after that if he decides to finish it.
Well, if Ice Rod is the Go Mode item, getting the green pendant, deliver it to Sahasrara, and then doing Eastern Pod with the bow seems like a pretty good route.
Yeah, and that's what he's planning to do. Even after getting the second item of Skullwoods.
Pikapals may then decide to go back into Skullwoods after finishing Meyer here.
You know what? Out of all the pendant dungeons, I mean, yeah, maybe Thieves Town is also a good choice, but Green Pendant Skullwoods doesn't seem too slow. And it seems like it's one of the least possible time wastes you can have.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick dungeon. You don't need the big key to get to the back. You can rush Mothula if you want to do that. Just 2 items. Thieves Town does have that thing in that Yem just really don't like going into Pendant Thieves Town, and he keeps on getting the seeds that has it. And Yen tends to be someone who favors the hammer here on Mothula. Come on, Mothula. Come on, we know you want to be hit by the hammer. Do you like spikes?
I don't know, I don't like them. I don't know about Gem.
Yeah, spikes are not very pleasurable, I guess you can say. But that's the green pendant, and it's more enjoyable. So do you think this is an Eastern pod call right now?
Yes. It's floating to 5, so that's definitely the call. But he doesn't go in the Dark World, so this leads me to think he will go in the Eastern. No, he's going to Sahasrara first.
And then hope he gets some sort of progression there, so he doesn't have to go into Eastern pod without a bow, or he can just go straight up to Turtle Rock with the Ice Rod in hand.
Yeah. And he wants to see if the Green Pendant pays off.
Well, it's not going to pay off.
Nope.
I guess we're going Turtle Rock.
Yeah,
I mean, if we're gonna
it's
talk...
one of the last accessible locations with the order in which he got the items, which can be handled as the item spheres too. So
Yeah, if we're gonna talk sphere logic here, this is deeper into the logic than Palace of Darkness, and especially deeper than Eastern Palace, which is available right at the beginning of the game.
yes, and given how early the lamp was as well, so the dark parts of these dungeons were pretty early as well. While the last two items in the logic that Gem got were the Chain of Samaria and the Fire Herd, which were in Swamp. So this is leaning more heavily towards Turtle Rock.
By how Gem likes to read seeds, yes, so this play makes sense in that regard. Much like the Green Pennant as well, since it was locked behind the Fire Rod, so it was also deep into the sphere logic. Pikapals having a little bit of issue there, getting that block right. And I think we've seen this a lot of times, or, well, exceptionally frequently this year in A Link to the Past Randomizer. Turtle Rock without Ice Rod.
Yeah, and this is always a hard choice to make.
So far, the Fire Rod wasn't necessary, but you need a very specific key layout to actually go deep without the Fire Rod.
Yeah, it really depends on the key locations. You can have some configuration where the Fire Herd is on the laser bridge. But for the Ice Herd, it's anywhere's game.
Jim missing the Fire Rod shot, but gets the backup, and Pikapals out with the hammer, and yeah, it is a pretty rough boss fight for him here.
Yeah, but I think what he's doing right now is pretty much the best strategy. Using the hammer as quickly as possible and using his potions to get health back.
You'd also see the small key and the big key locked behind the Fire Rod inside of Turtle Rock. Ooh, those ice do a lot of damage. This does change jumps. You know, I think that shield is supposed to be in this dungeon.
Yeah, a little further in. Maybe they did some innovations and moved it.
Yeah, Ganon might have preferred to keep the shield next to the dogs. Pickup has two hearts here under this giant enemy eye.
This is dangerous. But he got it. Very nice.
That was extremely well executed. And Jim keeps on digging into Turtle Rock, and I think Pikapals is going to show us what's on the pedestal soon. Flight to 3.
He can certainly complete Skullwoods, which is the green pendant, and pull the pedestal while he's there.
Just mirror over.
Yeah, so if the bow or the ice herd is there, then the time he lost doing Land Molas and blind He just get it back, basically.
This seed could take a wild turn within the next few minutes.
Tempered Sword and Mimic Cave for Gem.
That's not the worst place for a sword, I guess? I mean, it's bad for Pikapals, but what can you do?
Whoa, the bow. And Total Rock.
Well, we're down to Ice Rod for this pedestal now. Or possibly we're gonna go for the soupy gimmick boots for Ganon's Tower. But I think we know where Gem is going after this.
We got Pod and Eastern. Which will probably have the Ice Rod.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be there or on the pedestal. Not all that many other locations to check. I guess there is Graveyard Ledge?
Yeah.
Just patiently waiting. Pikapals is gonna descend for Fighter Sword Mothula.
So I think we might get to know about the Lizard Blade chest first.
That was uninteresting. That was a little bit more interesting. That what? Huh?
And that one was not interesting. So maybe the boat leads to the Ice Rod, or maybe it's just a red herring.
Yeah, if you're Gem, do you check Ether Tablet right now?
Maybe? No, he's setting a warp there. So this means he wants to check most of the Dark World stuff first. Because if he goes back in the Dark World or save and quit, no, just if he goes back in the Dark World, the warp will disappear.
And Pikapals here with the moment of truth as the pennants rise to the sky will grant him his blessing, the one, the only, the legendary 20 rupees.
I like that.
You're welcome. So, Head is dead, officially. And Yem is going to Ether Tablet. And Pikapals looks to be going into Eastern Pod, unfortunately.
But you know, even if Pod is bow locked and the Ice Rod is inside, he can potion glitch to get it. So they will have to double dip one of these dungeons. But we don't know which. We don't know which one yet, but it's either Gem double dipping Turtle Rock, finding the bow, or Pikapals double dipping either Eastern or Pod, finding the Ice Rod.
Yeah, so this race may not be over just yet because of that bow location, depending on where this Ice Rod turns out to be. At this point, you know that Pikapals has gone through these pendant dungeons that haven't really given him anything, and it's taken up a lot of his time. And Gem also did get the faster Ice Palace having Fire Rod instead of Bombos to go through.
Yeah. And I know the reason why Gem decided to do Eastern first. It's because he wants to save the warp portal he put at the end of Turtle Rock. So he really hopes he finds the Ice Rod there.
That's really smart, wow. You don't really see that kind of stuff frequently when it comes to leaving behind Dark World portals. But they still has to go into pod, so...
But it just doesn't go. It just doesn't have to walk all the way through Turtle Rock. It can just go straight to Laser Bridge and save pod for Aster.
I'm having that state of commentator's confusion again, so... I'm just gonna watch Pikapals do a bottle glitch. You're continuing this wild chase for the ice rod. It's the vanilla beekeep blesses gem over in Eastern.
This is getting very tense over who finds the ice rod first in these two dungeons.
This race is far from over.
Look, yet another sword.
And that sword was available the second they got the lamp. It looked like Pikapals wanted to do the hammer jump, but then kind of hesitated and then he couldn't do it.
Yeah, but he didn't have any small keys, so he could not have been able to come back
Oh yeah, that's right.
from the reverse way, so I would guess that's why he didn't do it.
Well, Gem is almost done now with Eastern. Pikapals picks up more rupees that he doesn't need. Six shots with silver arrows and bombs.
Hey, that's not a nice rod.
No, those looked quite explosive. Now we're gonna see Pikapals here attempt this hammer jump.
The bomb is pretty far, but he does make it.
Very impressive. Extremely difficult bomb jump to pull off.
So Jim, he basically did all the light wall stuff he could do. So now he just killed the portal he left back at Turtle Rock to go and check pod. But Pikapals still haven't find the ice rod.
It wasn't in pod? So,
No.
is there an item on Helmasaur?
I did not pay attention to that.
So what else do we have left?
But maybe.
Graveyard Ledge, Magic Bat?
Bumbo's tablet.
Yeah, Bombo's Tablet. That's another one. We have a Goose Chase here for the Ice Rod. But Pikapals may just decide to go into Turtle Rock after this.
Yeah, I think that would be the play. And if the ice rod is on Bumbo's, then the book, which is on Laser Bridge, might be the way to get it. Which is always very annoying.
You know, I just realized that Palace of Darkness is actually bow-locked.
Yeah, that's why Pikapals did the potion glitch right away.
Well, I guess we're just gonna sit back and wait for a new location to be checked. And you know what? Pikapals is actually gonna get a sword upgrade in here in Eastern, going up to Master.
Yeah, at least he will get a sword upgrade, so that's one more item for go mode for him, because all this time he was still missing the Master Sword.
And we do know that the other swords are in Escape and Mimic Cave, and because Mimic Cave is commonly checked before the big chest in Turtle Rock, which has the bow, it seems quite likely he will get that Mimic Cave sword.
Yeah, he will check it right before getting the bow, so he'll most likely finish with Tempered.
That Escape, though. We'll have to wait and see what choices our players decide to make when they are done with their current dungeons. Pikapals is done over in Eastern, has Master Sword, and will head on over to that.
Oh, that's interesting. Where was the powder?
It was... Wasn't it on Pyramid?
Oh, right. Gem has yet to check the pyramid.
Yeah, because he starts them with Hype Cave, and when you do that route, routing in the pyramid is a bit tricky, and especially when you have the flute, since you so easily can get to the location. So if the Batcave has Ice Rod, which it doesn't seem like it's going to matter. But you know, there's still a lot of locations left for Yem, both in the overworld and inside of Pendant Onions and inside of Swamp Palace. The chances are he's gonna start off by checking Bobo's tablet, presumably.
Yeah, I think Mumbo's tablet is a big advantage Gem has right now.
We do see an air capacity upgrade on Helmasaur. It is the crystal, but we will continue this search, this intense search for the Ice Rod. Looks like Jam still has a few locations left to check in Palace of Darkness, and at this point he can't really leave out anything. But Pikapals is making the call to go into Turtle Rock, which will give him the bow. Once he has the bow, we'll likely go back and finish off the Crystal Dungeons, but where he goes after that is a mystery.
Yeah, let's see. Now Gem still has to beat Helmasaur right now. Oh no, to complete the rest of the dungeon. That's right?
Yeah, Helmasaur is down, dead, whatever you want to call him. So just checking a couple of more locations. Decided to opt to go for the boss first, hoping that he would be able to get the Ice Rod along the way. Pikapals tripping the Turtle Rock will give him the next sword, will give him the bow, will give him the book.
Yeah, if he doesn't bail after getting the bow, he'll get the book. But bailing after getting the bow might also be an option. So given that he has already full cleared both Pod and Eastern, I don't think he will.
Yeah, I do think Yem's next destination here is going to be Bombo's tablet. So if that doesn't have it, I'm not so sure where the next destination is going to be. And because of our 5-6 locations here being Mr. Mire and Turtle Rock. Unless, for some weird inexplicable reason, the Cursed Fairy ends up having the boots and that is needed for Ganon's Tower, the Big Bomb will not be required. And Gem is starting with Graveyard Ledge, checking Bumper Cave, going back into Thieves Town? Checking the pedestal maybe? No, he's not gonna check the pedestal.
No, I don't think. Maybe.
No? Thieves Town?
It looks like Thieves Town.
The Thieves Town just keeps on haunting Gem. Sadly, the Ice Rod is not in here. So this is good for Pikapals.
Yeah.
As he's a little Bidoof right now. And remember that Gem is up 1-0 in this best of 3. So a win for him means that he qualifies to the finals. Meanwhile, Pikapals must win in order to take this to a game 3, which will be played shortly after this match finishes.
And do you know against who the winner of this match, or both match, will have to battle against?
Well, in the finals, of course, it's Ageneb 714, more commonly known as Ben.
Yeah.
Of course, in that bronze match, ELG's Andy. And Pikapals will get another sword. And Yen is gonna get his nothing. So let's go through this again. What are the locations that we haven't seen? Bombos Tablet, Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah. The Bumper Cave, maybe? I don't remember.
Yeah. I think that hasn't been checked, but there's no cape, so where's the cape then? I think everything else has been checked.
Yeah.
And these are some true one-off locations, especially because you don't have the boots to make the Graveyard Ledge a bit more incentivized to be checked, and Bombos Tablets is just kind of out there if you've already done the Purple Chest, you've already done Desert Regina, you've already done Swamp Palace.
There's also the fact that with boots, you tend to do the heavier ledge with boots, so you can do the King's Tomb also with the boots.
Yes, precisely.
But I don't think that's something that is on their mind right now.
Well, Yen got all items. He's disregarding the pedestal completely in this seed.
And now he's going to Bombos.
Bombos first, and then left side swamp if it isn't at Bombos, possibly?
Yeah, you know what? That would be a good way, good play, I think.
Meanwhile, Pikapals done here in Turtle Rock for now with the bow in hand. So Bombos Tablet 104, 2 remaining locations, presumably, because we can't think of anything else. And from the burning sky in the desert shall rain a not-so-burning rod.
But I think Gem will be burning happy with that.
Well, you know, he's in go mode with that item. And double dip turtle walk required.
Mhm. It's a good thing that Pickup did not bail with the bow in hand.
Yeah,
And
you had to
went all the way to
continue-
Razor Bridge to get the book.
Yeah, you had to go all the way there. So Laser Bridge again having the ice rod technically. Randomizer works in mysterious ways. There is, of course, still that matter of boots, but you know, it's boots and Turtle Rock. So Yam back into Turtle Walk. We've already seen this before, and we are essentially sitting here patiently waiting. Patiently. Yam, of course, just goes straight to the end of Turtle Rock. And it's a matter of when Pikapals will be able to check that Bombos tablet.
Yeah, I really hope he checks it very soon. And given how thorough he was in checking things, he will it's probably one of the last locations he has yet. Maybe that and Graveyard Ledge. Well, it won't be long before he does it. Just
No.
needs to beat 2 bosses first.
Yeah, he's been so thorough with his overwhelm checks this game. Just doesn't have many spots left to check. It's just that Gem has a clearly distinct advantage right now, and by all accounts, this is his race to lose. The game is in his own hands at this point. Silent King goes down for Pikapals. Eastern Palace next.
Yep, another straight out to the boss.
And the thing is also that Gem is fully equipped for everything the Seed has to throw at him, except for not having the powder. But apart from that, he has everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Even
half
has
magic.
yeah. Even Gem even has the King of Burna, which Pika didn't pick. And I really don't remember what that was.
The
Maybe an escape.
the what? Yeah, don't remember. So I guess Trinex is dead. I guess that means 7 crystals.
I guess that means he's going to someplace next. And isn't that a game we play?
Yeah, I think we do have this little game, you know, kind of 22 possible item locations out of Ganon's Tower, where this, you know, big key can be in one of them, because, you know, you kind of need it to go somewhere north or upwards, I guess, in Ganon's Tower. So you kind of need it, and you kind of can guess where it is in the chat. And, you know, if you just so happens to be a subscriber to any of the Speak Image channels and perhaps have donated a total of 250 bits instead, you're first to guess it right. You know, you'll be entering the leaderboard, presumably if this tournament has a leaderboard. I don't actually know that, and I don't even know why I continue to talk, so I get you guess this into chat so I can stop talking and drink some water instead. How are you doing today, Mimban?
I'm doing great. Like always.
Fantastic.
And we're having a great finish. Right here.
And Yem does prefer to go straight to right side. Pikapals done with Eastern Palace. Starting off things with our final medallion and a small key, so Yem will continue here over to the right side.
And the Ito medallion, which is totally useless.
Totally useless.
I think Pika might be going for the graveyard ledge here.
Yeah, it does seem to be that way. You know, there is still the boots possibilities, but you know, I've never seen it be actually required in a situation like this.
Oh, I've seen it before.
Nope. That was number 5.
Nice. So number 5 was guess in chat. Let's see who won that game.
No one guessed it right, but the closest was Harry Weather. Congratulations.
With a 3. Yes.
Apparently 3 is close to 5.
That's close enough, as they say.
Also, what was in Graveyard Ledge? I missed that.
I don't think it was required.
I mean, there's no way it was required.
But Pika is now going for pretty much the last location he can check. Beside from escape, so Bumble's tablet, which will have his ice hood.
Which will put him in go mode. Unfortunately for him, Yem is heading up into the gauntlet. It does seem like it was just 20 rookies over in that Graveyard Ledge. So by all accounts, we're looking at a Yem-Ben finals here. Unless something drastically weird happens here, like dying 10 times on Moldorm. How do you view that final?
It's going to be very interesting. Ben isn't a stranger to being in finals. He was the winner, in fact, of both 2017 tournaments. So, and Gem, I think this is the first time Gem reaches the finals. He started playing around a year ago.
Well, I don't know about his last year results, but in the spring tournament, he was knocked out in the quarterfinals 0-2 against Pink Kitty Rose.
Yeah, so he went pretty far, and he's a really solid player as well. So Gem versus Ben will be marvelous to see.
Gem supposedly won the entrance randomizer tournament of 2017, and you know, entrance randomizer isn't the easiest thing. But I guess that is where his routing skills comes in. But of course, we will also see Pikapals in a third place match as well. He'll be going up against ALG's Andy. Again, assuming nothing spectacularly bizarre happens here. You know, I hate to call matches before they're over, but this does seem to be over by all accounts.
Gem is not forgetting to pick the key from Randomizer there. so it's now go to go. Small on 2.
Yeah, picking up the full magic just to be safe. And down goes the Moldorm. And vanilla 20 rupees, I believe that is.
Yep, I believe this is vanilla.
As Pikapals is proceeding through Turtle Rock, Yem now entering the Aga 2 fight.
So this is a fight of Reflection. And first phase has gone well. Nice triple. Only one shot here.
Unfortunate blue ball.
Got hit and could only do one more, but he's only missing one. That's it.
Really well done, Aga 2 fight, considering both the position of the later cycles as well as that blue ball. Of course, there's one final challenge.
So with Butter Sword, the first and the second phase of Ganon only need 6 hits to proceed, which is hell easy, as Jim is showing us right now.
Yep. Already in phase 3, which is the easiest phase, as to speak.
Yeah, just catch Ganon when he's visible.
Yeah, and the silver arrows were in Hookshot Cave, just as yesterday. And just 4 shots with silver arrows are needed.
And this is a nice position with the double. And the pig is dead.
And ladies and gentlemen, Yem has beaten Pikapals in the semifinals, will qualify to the finals of the A Link to the Past Spring Randomizer Tournament 2018, where he will be facing Ben. GG, good game, congratulations.
Congrats.
And he finishes with an official speedrun's lifetime of 1 hour, 42 minutes, 51 seconds.
And we're joined by Jim on the interview, so congrats.
Thanks.
So how are you feeling right now qualifying for the finals of this tournament?
Well, pretty good. I did not think I'd make it this far, but making it this far is amazing.
Oh, that's very great, I think. And you certainly made it going this far.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool to finally make it to the finals. My first tourney actually, that was the entrance tourney. So yeah, pretty nice.
Yeah, so let's talk a bit about the seed. One thing that you did, and which I want to ask you, is when you were searching for the Ice Rod, why did you go in Thiefstone before Bumbo's tablet?
Well, I just figured Pika might have done Thiefstone relatively well. So I just thought, in case he went in there and Icewood was there, I should go there first, just to counterplay him.
And that was a nice thought. I didn't have anything, but yeah, that was good.
Yeah, similarly, I was actually planning to go back into Swamp after checking Bombos. Just in case it was there. At that point, it probably would have been too late either way, but well, I would have at least tried.
Well,
But yeah.
this was a seed that really gave you a lot of items in the early game. Hammer, mitts, mirror, lots of convenient items, but there wasn't really much you could do in terms of going into dungeons early on.
Yeah, except for the good old pendant dungeons, because those always have to be open.
Yeah, you did get that pendant thieves town again.
Yeah, every time. I hate it.
So in the finals, you'll be playing against Ben. How do you feel going up against him?
Well, he's definitely a very scary opponent. But I guess I'll have to try my best. Yeah, I don't know, I watched him in this tourney and he seemed incredibly solid. And I'm a bit scared, but yeah, we'll see.
Well, I certainly wish you the best of luck to both of you, in fact. And these will be very exciting matches. Can't wait to see that. With that done, that means that Pikapals will play against ALG Andy, the bronze match, for to determine the third and fourth place of the tournament.
Which is also going to be a very interesting and excited matchup to look forward to.
So, what do you think about the fact that the seed was bootsless?
Hate. Fighting sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the usual thing. Fingers hurt from pumping. All that stuff. I guess the seed kind of overcompensated for yesterday, because in yesterday's seed we had Boots and Minimolder. This time we just didn't get them at all.
Yeah, and they're probably just hidden deeper in Cannon's Tower.
Yeah, I'm not sure where else they could be at this point.
No. Well, Pikapals checked everything in Pendant Dungeons and even pulled the pedestal, so
Yeah,
you collectively full clear the game besides Cannon's Tower.
Yeah, makes sense.
We do know though about the powder on the pyramid and Batcave having 20 rupees or a piece of heart or something.
Yeah, it was something red.
Yeah, that's 20 rupees or a piece of heart. But while this was a bootless seed, you did get the flute very early on in Kakariko. How does the flute affect your routing decisions?
Well, like I like to leave like a few locations behind and then like do them with a quick flute there. That's the point. Like one example is Icewood Cave. Like that's one that a lot of people like skip early when they have flute, which I didn't do in this seed, but I sometimes do that. But also a thing I like to do with an early flute is to just check Sahasrara. Without flute, I tend to skip him early, unless I have the bow for EP, but if I have the flute, I like going there early.
And we'll get to see Pikapals finish soon. So I also want to bring up that Ganon was in fact lying. We did bring food. Jem did bring the butter. And Pikapals did bring the bacon. Also brought some powder to add the spices.
You're getting me hungry now. I'm
good
the one
thing.
who'll be going gumbo.
It's a good thing I've already had dinner today. Pikapals has to be a bit careful here, taking a lot of damage from these fire bats.
I think he still has some potions.
Yeah, I mean, 2 bottles very early on Link's house and Uncle, and then the other 2 in Hype Cave. They really were conveniently located. So yes, the final phase here with 4 arrows. He gets a really nice early setup here with the double. Unfortunately, it doesn't get the glitch, but it doesn't really matter. Did pick up that half magic on left side swamp.
Also very nice, the double here.
Yeah, and Pikapals will finish the seed in just a few seconds. With an official speedrun's lifetime at 1 hour, 52 minutes, 4 seconds.
Well, GG. So let's see if he also joins us for the interview. And Pikapals is with us. Now, GG.
Hey, thanks. GG, Jem.
GG, Pika.
So, Pikapals, any general thoughts on this seed?
Well, it sure was a seed. Having to do everything with Fighter Sword is a little rough, and that Ice Rod location just stuck around. Like, you know, Laser Bridge blocked Ice Rod is always a fun time.
Fun, question mark?
Big question mark.
Yeah, put as many question marks there as you want.
Cleaning the pedestal, not pedestal, but pendant dungeons as you did. Is this something you do often, going for the pedestal play?
Not really, honestly. Like, I kind of did it on accident this time. Thieves Town, I hadn't checked the map yet, so for all I knew, this was Jem's 4th green pendant Thieves Town in a row, because that seemed likely. And then Landmo had an item I didn't want to leave behind, and then I just felt like doing Skullwoods at that point.
Yeah, that's certainly a good point. Especially with green pendants as your last one.
Yeah, I still hadn't gotten the second item in there either, so there was a good 3 items over there.
So yeah, you did most of the seed with Fighter Sword, but Jem found the Master Sword pretty early in Escape, the front of Escape, which I think is the one place you never checked.
Yeah, Escape was just that one part of the game I never got back to. Like, early on there were so many other options that I felt like doing instead. And then late in the seed, it was just if Ice Rod is there, I lost anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, sadly, Pikapals, no finals will feature you, but you will play in the third place match versus ALG Andy. And how do you feel going up against him?
It'll be interesting. Certainly be a hard match, but at least it'll be easier to schedule with Andy than it would be to schedule with Ben. Scheduling with Europe is sometimes difficult.
Yeah, that's also something I'm happy about, that Ben is European. So we can schedule during the week.
Yeah, it was kind of a nice win-win for me, because either I win and get to play for first place, or I lose and get to schedule things easily.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're from North America, Pikapals?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a North American semi-finals, or bronze match, I mean, and a European finals
Yeah, pretty
on our
much.
hands, basically, yeah.
That is pretty cool. And as we round off this broadcast here, I'd like some final statements here, starting with you, Yen, if you wish.
Well, as for the seats, I just repeat myself, stop the pen in TT. And please early boots next time again. And yeah, other than that, thanks for commentating. Thanks to our tracker, I think it's OSS Geek.
Yes.
And yes, see you in the finals.
Thank you very much, Jem. And final closing statement, Pikapals.
Yeah, it's been fun. We should keep going with Pendant Thieves, but just put better stuff in there next time. Like, the mitts were nice, but they were too early for me.
All right. But thank you very much, both of you, Yem and Pikapals, and also, like Yem mentioned, our tracker OSG or OSS Geek. Apparently, English is not something I can. Something. Thank you very much for helping out behind the scenes. And be sure to follow all of our Twitch channels at Speed Gaming 1 through 6 and ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 5 to be sure to catch all of the upcoming matches for both A Link to the Past Randomizer and for other games as well. Final and bronze matches are to be scheduled soon in the future. And with that all said and done, I've been Marjevich.
And I've been Ninban. Thank you for being my co-commentator.
It's been great hanging out with you today, Nimban. And I hope to get to commentate with you again. I hope to get to cast both of you again, and also get to work with OSS Geek in the background. And I hope to see all of you viewers in the not too distant future.